Please like this video. I really need your support right now. It's the only way this story can reach more people. Thank you so much for being here with me and for your support. The line hit the patio like a dropped glass. Music rolled on from a Bluetooth speaker near the lemon tree. Kids were splashing in the shallow end, and I was turning ribs on the grill when Jenna, holding her wine like a microphone, laughed too loud and said, "Every man here has sampled me." The laughter around the fire pit stalled. Ryan's bottle stopped halfway to his mouth. Cole stared at the turf like he'd lost a contact. Ethan moved his jaw and looked past me, as if the moon suddenly mattered. That wasn't a slip. That was a performance in my yard, at my table, around my people. I set the tongs down and didn't raise my voice. That'll help in the divorce. The heat off the grill washed my face. The speaker didn't get the memo. It kept a happy beat no one was dancing to. Jenna pinched her eyes like I'd pricked her. "Oh, come on. It's a joke." "Ryan," I asked without looking at her. He didn't answer. He pulled the bottle from his lips and pressed his tongue to his molars, scanning the fence line. "Cole," I said. He tried to smile. It was before. Old news. Ethan cleared his throat. "Once. I didn't know you two were serious, man." Jenna put a hand on my arm. "Stop. You're ruining my party." I took her hand off me like it was warm plastic. Then I turned to the three men I had known since college and built a company with. "Gates that way," I told them. "We're done." "Wait," Ryan said. "Todd." "Don't." I cut him off. "You three standing in my yard while my wife plays open mic? Not tonight. Not again." Cole's face twitched. "It was before. You heard me." Neighbors went quiet. My project manager, Lila, stood with a plate of potato salad and her eyes wide. My next-door guy, Frank, froze halfway through a story about his new sprinkler controller. It was Phoenix in July, and the air itself watched. Jenna tried to laugh it off. "He can't take a joke." I looked at the guests. "Party's over." Then back at her. "And you're packing." If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have shut it down right then. But I wanted facts, not noise. The first people started collecting kids and towels. I walked the trio to the gate. No yelling. No drama. Just the quiet slide of the latch and the three of them on the other side of it, suddenly smaller. Ryan started to say something. I lifted my hand. He swallowed it and backed off. Jenna followed me across the patio, heels clicking on the travertin. "So now you're king?" "I've been running this house and that company," I told her. "You just found out there are rules. You're overreacting." I checked the grill, killed the gas. "Pack a bag. You're not throwing me out in front of. You wanted an audience." She grabbed my wrist. I looked down at her grip until she let go. "Pack," I repeated. "We'll talk after." "You won't really." I already did. I pulled my phone from my pocket and called Aaron. He picked up on the second ring. "You good?" "Swing by," I said. 15 minutes. On the way. Jenna heard the name and shook her head. "You called your brother? Are you serious?" "He's calm," I said. "He's fair. You want fair, right?" "You are unbelievable." "I am tired." The gate clicked again when Aaron's truck rolled up. He stepped into the yard like he was picking up a toolbox. Same face. He's a contractor with forearms like rope and a voice that keeps crews on schedule. He nodded at Jenna. "Grab what you need." She tried to pull him into it. "Aaron, he's being." "Not my lane," he said. "Let's go. I live here." "Then get what you want to take when you leave," I said. "You can come back for the rest with a list and notice." Aaron watched me, then her. "I'll wait at the curb." He turned and left. She stood there, eyes on me, then on the house, calculating. She went in without slamming a door. That was something. I stood by the grill and scraped it, slow strokes, like it was any Sunday night. She came back with a tote and a rolled-up makeup bag. "You'll regret humiliating me." "You humiliated me," I said. I just closed the tab. "There were people here," she said. "You didn't have to." "You pick people," I said. "You did it in public. So we fix it in public." She stared another second, then left. Aaron didn't look at me. He opened the passenger door and nodded. The truck taillights turned at the end of the street and disappeared. The yard was quiet except for a neighbor's misting system hissing to life. I went back to the grill, covered it, and stacked the plates. I wasn't shaking. I was making decisions. If I'd believed the night would be the worst of it, I'd have slept. I knew better. Monday morning, the heat bounced off the glass of our office building like it was trying to get inside. I got in early, closed the door, and wrote 3 letters. Voluntary resignations with the blanks filled. 3 termination notices for cause, with the policy sections printed in bold. The policy came from me, yes, but it had been there because most of our hiring runs on trust and access. I sent 1 calendar invite. Conference room A, 8:30. Mandatory. They came in together, like we were back in college and late for a lab we hadn't studied for. Ryan sat, flopped his arms on the table, tried to smirk. Cole chose the end chair like he was at a deposition he didn't cause. Ethan took the seat nearest the door and stared at the frosted window like it could save him. I slid the 2 stacks into the center. Pick one. Ryan frowned. You firing us? I'm giving you a choice, I answered. Walk out clean or walk out with a reason stapled to your file. Cole pulled 1 page closer with 2 fingers. This is extreme. What you 3 did was extreme. You sat at my table for years, came into my house every weekend, and never said a word. Meanwhile, my wife stood on my patio and cracked a joke with your names under it. It was before you 2 were married. Ethan tried. You hit it after. Ryan leaned forward. This is personal. It's got nothing to do with the job. You've been my senior engineer, my operations guy, and my estimator, I told them. We don't run on a clock here. We run on loyalty. Clients call me at 9 at night. I call you, you show up, and I put you in rooms based on trust. You didn't look me in the eye and hold back? That's not a different bucket. That's the same water. Cole rubbed his temple. We didn't lie. We just didn't bring up ancient history. You let me build around you while you kept a secret with a price tag on it, I said. You let her sit in our box seats, share our trips, build a social circle on the company's dime, and you said nothing. That's not ancient. That's current. Ryan jabbed a finger at the papers. This is wrong, Ty. What would you do in my position? Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. I'd handle my household in my house, he said. Not here. I did both, I said. You're not in my house. This is the office. Read the policy. Ethan took the termination notice and scanned it. Violation of corporate ethics. Reputational risk. Conflict of interest. You wrote this to be flexible. I wrote it because we hire friends, and friends can burn a business down when they get sloppy, I said. Choose. Cole licked his lips. We go quiet, and you bury us here. You resign, and you leave with a handshake, I replied. Or you get tagged for cause, and anyone who calls me hears exactly why. Ryan shoved back his chair. You can't be serious. I'm done being played, I said. Pick a page. Ethan looked between us. Ty, come on, one stupid joke. That joke told my clients, neighbors, and half our staff something I didn't know, I said. And your faces said it was true. Cole finally reached for a pen. His hand shook, then steadied. He signed the resignation. Ryan watched him like he'd just committed treason. Ethan sighed and grabbed a pen. You'll regret making this public. You made it public, I said. Ryan didn't sign. He grabbed the cause notice and pushed it back at me. There's your show. Fire me. I initialed the bottom line and slid it to HR through the open door. Please process that, I told Pam without looking away from Ryan. Escort when ready. Pam's heels tapped away. Ryan stood up. I'll see you again, man. I figured. He left. Cole and Ethan followed with the silence of people who realize the light they've been standing in is turning red. When the door shut, I sat with the quiet. Then I picked up the phone, called accounting, and froze their company cards. The lock codes for the building changed by 10. I went into our Slack and posted a short note to the management channel. Personnel changes today, details by end of day. Meanwhile, client coverage will be handled by me and Lila. Questions, ping me directly. I pinged Lila. You okay to pull double this week? She replied, got you. And you good? Better than yesterday. She knocked and poked her head in with her laptop at her hip. That was a lot. It was overdue. You want me in the room for any mess? You'll get it, I said, but not today. She nodded, measured. Lila doesn't fill silence. That's one reason she's still here. By the way, she added quietly, the patio last night, I was there. You handled it. That wasn't handling, I said. That was the first step. Understood, she said and left. When I got back to my desk, my phone buzzed. Jenna. I let it ring out, then went to my calendar and blocked off the afternoon. I didn't trust my temper. I trusted my systems. I came home early. I moved her framed photos into a flat box and stacked it by the entry. I pulled the key fob from the bowl and put it into an envelope with her name on it. I changed the alarm code and left a new one for her brother to use if she needed to grab furniture with a mover later. I texted Aaron, access for her stuff will be scheduled. Thanks for last night. He texted back a thumbs up and nothing else, as usual. Jenna called again. Then again. I didn't pick up. If she wanted to talk, she could use the front door like a person. She showed up an hour later. I opened the door and leaned on it. You're not answering, she said. I'm answering now. We need to talk. After you collect your things, I said. The spare bedroom closet is empty. Use it. You're punishing me. I'm protecting my boundaries. From your wife. From disrespect. She huffed. It was a joke. Say it again for the room, I answered. I want to hear how it lands. You're enjoying this. No, I said. I'm doing this. Then say what you want, she said. Tell me what the fix is. You pack, I told her. Aaron picks you up. We put distance in place. Then I'll listen. But the outcome is likely the same. Divorce. Consequences, I said. Call it whatever you like. Her face tightened. She stepped in past me, grabbed the box by the entry, and carried it down the hall. I watched her go. She didn't slam, didn't cry. She handled picture frames and jewelry like she was late to a flight. When she came back, she paused and met my eyes. I was stupid, she said. It was before. I was young. I shouldn't have joked. I'll make it up to you. That's not a price you can pay, I replied. And that's not an apology you owe me. It's a sales pitch to keep your spot. You're cold. I've been warm for years, I said. You liked it better. She flared and looked away, then tried a different tone. Let me stay here tonight. Just tonight. We'll keep our space. I need a minute to figure out where to. Not tonight, I said. Aaron's outside. Right on cue, his horn chirped, one short honk. I texted him when she pulled up. She stared past me, then back at my face. You're really doing this. I already did, I said. She exhaled, short. Fine. She left. The house felt larger when the door clicked behind her. The quiet didn't echo, it settled. My phone lit an hour later with texts from Cole and Ethan I didn't answer. It lit again the next morning. A formal notice from a lawyer they'd hired. Wrongful termination, it said, like it knew me. The demand letter had phrases about personal history not impacting professional performance, retaliatory dismissal, lack of due process. They moved quicker than I expected. I smiled without joy and put my jacket on. I drove to Hendricks and Lowe because the firm's managing partner had spoken at a business breakfast 3 years ago and passed out a card I never threw away. I walked into the lobby, gave my name, and sat in a chair that tried to make me feel shorter. A young attorney came out to get me. She looked like a grad student the world hadn't yet broken. Smart eyes, calm face, hair pulled into something tidy. Maya Chun, she said, holding out a hand. You're Tyler. I am. Conference room 3, she said. She let me talk for 3 minutes, then held up a finger. Let me see the letters you gave them. I handed them across. She scanned. Policy language is clean, she said. Not perfect, but usable. They're going to argue I fired them for something in my living room. They're going to argue you made an emotional call, she said, and that you violated your own procedures. We'll show it as a breakdown of trust in a culture built on access. It matters when you built that culture around yourself. That sounds flattering. It's not a compliment, she said. It's an argument for alignment. Your leadership brand is the business's brand. They knew it. So did your wife. I raised an eyebrow. You heard the party part? You led with it, she replied, not smiling. Which I needed. Now give me the timeline. I gave her dates. When I met Jenna. When the company formed. When the guys joined. Team dinners, holidays. A ski trip where Ryan brought a woman who isn't in the picture now. She drew lines and boxes on a legal pad like a builder sketching a layout. Any internal chatter about favoritism? She asked. Some grumbling last year, I said. We hired Lila over Cole's recommendation. He sulked. Emails. Probably, I said. Find them, she said. I want any reference to special treatment, not because we'll prove it, but because it shows the weight of perception. And I need your ethics policy in everyone's onboarding packet. They have it. Good. Why you? I asked. No offense, but you look like you passed the bar yesterday. I passed it 2 years ago, she said, still calm. And I like files like this. They're about honest culture, not paper rules. You kept your rules tight. That helps. And if we lose? You settle, she said. I don't think we lose. You sound sure. I sound prepared. I exhaled. Okay. She closed her notebook. When we get to a judge, they'll try to paint you as a hothead. You will not help them. You will answer cleanly. You will not drift into marriage talk unless I ask. You will say, I made a decision about trust in my leadership team. And then you will stop talking. That I can do. Also, she added, you look less sympathetic if your home is still a shrine to your marriage. If they subpoena photos or social media, I'd prefer to see distance. Already done, I said. I boxed it. Good, she said. Next step, I'll send discovery requests for communication among the three of them. If they were coordinating, I want it on paper. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, she said. Let's earn it. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. We prepped for 2 weeks. I pulled emails. We found ops threads where junior staff asked if there were untouchables. An HR note about Ryan joking in the break room that being near the boss is job insurance. A message from Cole to Ethan, he'll never cut us. He owes us. Maya circled that one twice. Jenna tried me twice in that window. First with a late-night call, soft voice, the one she used when she wanted me to pick a restaurant and pay. I messed up, she said. I was stupid. Let me come home. I'll sleep in the guest room. We'll figure it out. I let the silence stretch until the pitch died. No, I said. The guest room is for my nephew when Aaron drops him off for weekends. You're punishing me. I'm setting a schedule, I said. It's different. She sniffed. I knew you were rigid, but this. I'm consistent, I said. You never liked that. Click. The second time she asked if she could come by to grab clothes. I texted back. Make a list. Aaron will meet the movers. I won't be home. She sent an eye roll emoji. Then you want to make this ugly, be my guest. We're already past pretty, I replied. Court day landed like heat after a short breeze. We sat at a long table, Cole and Ethan to the left with their attorney, a guy with perfect hair and a tie that said he liked mirrors. Ryan sat farther back, arms folded tight, jaw forward. Their side opened with a speech that tried to make me a man with a temper, a leader who makes rash calls based on personal slights. He said, impulsive, like it was my first name. Maya stood, laid out a ladder of facts, and climbed it without drama. This is not a household dispute, she told the judge. This is a leadership breach in a company that runs on reputation and access. These men withheld material context from the person who built the culture and placed them in positions with privileged exposure. The watershed event simply surfaced it. She put exhibits on the table, numbered, boring. The boring things beat the loud ones. Emails, policy acknowledgments, a small pile of onboarding checklists with their signatures. The judge didn't smile at any of it. He read. He asked 3 questions. He listened to the part where I said, cleanly, I made a decision about trust in my leadership team. Then he looked at us both and gave the ruling that told me the line in my yard hadn't just been a good moment. It had been the start of a clean exit. On the steps outside, reporters weren't there because we aren't that company. But Ryan was. He walked up like he could still negotiate. You tanked 3 careers because your wife embarrassed you. You tanked your own by sitting at my table and keeping your mouth shut, I replied. And I fixed my standards where they should have been. Cole tried to cut in. Can we talk? We just did, I said, and turned away. Ethan didn't step closer. He looked at the ground, like the brickwork might open and save him. Maya slid her bag onto her shoulder. Coffee to celebrate. I don't celebrate losing people, I said, but I appreciate your work. Consider it debrief, she said. Rain check, I said. I've got a house to finish clearing. You do what you do, she said. I steady. Call me if they make noise. And Tyler? Yeah. You held the line in public, she said. Most people fold in private. It helps. It wasn't for points. I know, she said. That's why it worked. I drove home with the windows up and the AC chewing the desert. I hit the keypad at the gate and let it open slowly while the sun burned the back of my neck through the glass. The yard looked the same, Everything else didn't. Jenna called that night. You feel good now? I feel clean, I said. You wrecked them, she said. You could have let them resign. I gave them the option. You always want to prove something, she said. I already proved it, I said. To myself. You think you're noble, but you're petty. You said that line in my yard like you were handing out party favors. I reminded her. Now you want me to count chairs. You could have kept this between us, she said. A real man doesn't. Stop, I cut her off. Don't pitch a better version of me that matches your comfort. You're unbearable, she whispered. I'm unavailable, I said, and hung up. She showed up 2 days later without a bag. It was morning. I'd reshuffled the furniture to open up the living room and pulled our wedding photo off the mantel. It had been a nice picture, good light, decent suit. It was in a drawer now with the passports. She stepped into the house like it still remembered her weight. I'm not here to fight, she said. I'm here to apologize. Proceed, I answered. You didn't deserve that, she said. Any of it. I wanted to feel in control. I wanted attention. I thought I could say a dumb thing and clean it up later. I was wrong. You were, I said. I'm not asking to come back, she said quickly, reading my face. I'm asking to say I'm sorry while you can hear it without thinking I'm working an angle. I let the words sit. Okay, I said. I accept the apology. She took half a step closer. There's no but. There's a period, I said. She shut her mouth. I know I ruined your respect. I know I made you look small in your circle. I know what that costs a man like you. I didn't look small, I said. I looked done. She looked around, at the open spaces, at the mantel with a new bowl where the photo had been. You moved fast. I didn't wait, I said. You like to test and retract. I don't play that game anymore. I'm not testing, she said softly. I'm here because I have to look you in the eye and say I screwed up. I'm here because I loved what we built. You loved the platform, I said. You loved the events, the dinners, the easy entries because of my name. You loved the safety net. You make me sound. Don't ask me to dress it up, I said. I'm done dressing things up. She put her hands in her pockets like she didn't know where to put them. What now? I reached for the envelope I'd set under the bowl. It had tabs on it. It had been ready since Monday, but I wanted to hand it over when I could say it cleanly. What's that? She asked. Papers, I said. You'll see the terms are fair. I'm not burning the house down. I'm locking the door. You already signed. I did, I said. You can add your signature and we can end this like adults. No noise. No last-minute theatrics. She took the envelope but didn't open it. Is there anything I can say to change this? There's a lot you could say, I said. It wouldn't change it. You're not even angry. I said. Then I picked a line and crossed it. You'll find someone else and pretend none of this happened? I won't pretend, I said. I'll remember. I'll do better. And what about me? You'll learn, I said. Or you won't. Either way, this part is over. She stared a second longer, then looked down and nodded once, a stiff little motion that probably hurt her neck. I'll sign. Give it to Aaron, I said. He'll get it to the right hands. You won't even let me return it here? She asked, lifting her chin. No, I said. This door is for other things now. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She walked to the threshold and paused. You're colder than I thought. I'm clearer than you wanted, I said. She left. The envelope slid under her arm like a prop that had found the right scene. I took a breath, felt air fill a space that had been at half capacity for too long, and picked up my keys. If the story needed a victory dance, it didn't get one. It got appointments kept on time, staff meetings where people asked fair questions and got direct answers, and an office where Lila moved into Ethan's desk and didn't miss a beat. It got 2 new hires recommended by a guy in Dallas who used to compete with us and now wanted to trade work. It got me answering my own door at 9 at night to my brother's kid grinning around a popsicle, asking if the guest room had the cool blanket. It did. 3 weeks after the papers went out, I ran into Frank at the mailbox. He leaned on the metal and squinted at the morning. Heard you had a party blow up, he said. You were there, Frank, I said. You watched it. I pretended I didn't, he said. But I saw you keep your voice down. That's rare. I don't do noise, I said. You trimmed your hedges, he noted, like that was related. I trimmed more than that, I said. Good for you, he said, then lowered his voice. Saw Ryan at the hardware store. He looked like a man who cut his own hose by mistake. He'll live. He will, I said. Some of us learn from sharp objects. He laughed and walked back to his driveway shaking his head. Lila caught me in the hallway later. Lunch with a potential client at 1, she said. He asked for you. I'll be there. And, she added, a beat longer. Maya called to say the appeal window ticked by with no action. That file is closed. Tell her thank you. Tell her yourself, Lila said, biting back a smile. She invited you for coffee again. Is this you pushing me into social life? This is me keeping you alive, she said. Fine, I said. Put it in the calendar for Friday. Friday afternoon, I showed up at a small place 2 blocks from the courthouse. Maya was already at a table with 2 mugs and a legal pad she didn't open. You look less tired, she said. I moved furniture, I replied. It helps. I like winning, she said. I like earning it, I said. She held my eyes a second. You want to talk about anything not in a file? Sure, I said. Tell me why you like boring exhibits. They don't argue back, she said. And they don't lie. People do. That they do. We talked for an hour about old cases and how small businesses live or die by the worst 5 minutes in a year. We didn't talk about Jenna. We didn't need to. 2 months later, the house was different. I replaced the big sectional with 2 smaller couches and a sturdy chair that fit me. I parked a used Tundra in the driveway and sold the SUV Jenna insisted on because it fit our brand. My brother and I built a workbench in the garage and evened out the shelves we'd never bothered to level. I started lifting again in the mornings and made eggs in a pan that didn't have a matching set because it didn't need one. People ask about endings like they come with theme music. They don't. They come with initiative and clean paper. They come with reliable people in the right seats and unreliable people removed with a signature rather than a scene. Jenna's name comes up now and then. I know she moved in with a friend across town. I heard from someone that she tried a new job in events and it didn't stick because the invites changed and she couldn't leverage mine. I don't chase the details. I don't need to see where it landed to know where I'm standing. My final word to her happened at the door when I handed her the envelope. That was the point. She wanted control, comfort, and status without the price. I bought the price at the counter, in public, quietly. I paid once. When I lock up at night, I walk through a house that doesn't owe me an apology. The yard still bakes at dusk, and the lemon tree is still stubborn. Sometimes I catch a game with Frank. Sometimes Aaron rolls by with his kid for burgers. Sometimes Maya meets me for coffee that turns into dinner, and we talk about anything except courtrooms. If you're waiting for a romantic last-minute rescue of the old story, you'll be waiting alone. I rescued myself. Jenna slid her line across my patio and expected me to juggle it. I put it down. I picked up mine. We're done.